What is good, y'all? Welcome back to Chris and Ralph Productions. As always, I am Chris, and it has been a minute since I've done one of these DC news update. Of course, we have Superman coming out just in a few weeks, about a month from now. We have James Gunn and the whole cast promoting the show, doing press tours, doing junkets, and all that good stuff. And of course, during these interviews, he's being asked about the rest of the DCU. Well, today he actually dropped the first, I guess, confirmation regarding a Wonder Woman movie solo project. So I'll get into the article from Entertainment Weekly. I'll get into some other Wonder Woman news that it was not good that happened earlier this year. And then I'll get into a couple of actresses who I would like to see portray Diana, Wonder Woman. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this article from Entertainment Weekly. Wonder Woman movie officially in the works, being written right now. This is an exclusive. So, like I mentioned during an interview, James Gunn said pretty short and sweet that they are working on, of course, they're working on Supergirl, which I think is in post production. They're in the middle of filming Lanterns, and they asked him about Wonder Woman, and this is what he said: "We're working on Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is being written right now." That's pretty much all he said about that. So, like I mentioned, this is like the first real confirmation of a movie being in the works because when all these projects were announced back in early 2023, January 2023, um, there was no Wonder Woman project. Of course, we had Superman. We have Batman, Brave and the Bold. We have no idea where that's at. Of course, we don't know what's going on with Matt Reeves' Batman, which I think they'll eventually, move it over to the DCU. Maybe, maybe not. Um, but the only Wonder Woman related project that was announced all the way back in 2023 was Paradise Lost, part of the Gods and Monsters space, of course. It's about the mascara and about the genesis and political intrigue of an island of all women. Um, about this show, there has really been no updates regarding Paradise Lost. I know James Gunn recently, I don't know how long ago, mentioned that they're trying to get into the space of animation for Wonder Woman. So I don't know if that means that Paradise Lost is going to be animated. That, of course, we have no confirmation. They don't even have a team working on it just yet, and this was announced a while back. So I am curious on what are the plans for Wonder Woman because she is part of the Trinity. She's part of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. I have my comic somewhere. It has them three on the cover. Very beautiful, drawn by Dan Mora. But you know, let's get into some more Wonder Woman news that, like I mentioned, was not good because I was devastated when I heard this. And that was the cancellation of the Wonder Woman video game. Um, this got canceled back in February, and this was announced, I think, as well, like in 2022, 2023. Long story short, Cersei was going to be the main villain. It's going to take place on the Mascara. Cheetah was going to be a villain. Um, they were going to include the Nemesis system. If you don't know anything about gaming, the Nemesis system is like this groundbreaking system within gaming, where essentially, let's say Wonder Woman faces Cheetah in the first hour of the story, and then they face off again 8 hours later. Within those, well, those 8 hours of story time, within the story of the Wonder Woman game, Cheetah would have adapted and she would have gotten stronger. And it's just a system that was developed. Warner Brothers patented it, or got the rights to it, and now they're just keeping it hostage and they're not doing anything else with it. And I was beyond looking forward to this Wonder Woman game, and it being canceled, it sucked because I think DC games in general are sort of in a downhill. Of course, I'm hoping that they're able to bring it back up because I think they're developing another Arkham game. But I was looking forward to this, man, so much, and they just deleted it essentially. There were tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into production, and I guess they didn't like the direction. Some of the artwork was very beautiful, and then that was it essentially. So, but that was the past. We're not going to get this game, but of course, we can always look forward to the future. And before I get into some of my fan castings, I just want to use this as a reference. This is from a Dan Mora and Mark Waid comic. This is Wonder Woman flying the invisible jet. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I love the way that she's being drawn right now in the comics. Of course, she had a great run by Tom King not too long ago. So she's no stranger to being in the forefront of DC Comics, especially as of recent. She's a pillar in DC. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. So these are four actresses who I think and who I would like to see. And if it's none of these four women, so be it. I'm sure whoever they cast, they'll go through a lengthy process. They'll go through many auditions, and whoever they choose is, I think is going to be best for them. But let's go ahead and get into my first fan cast, and that is May Calamaway, or Calame, sorry. She best known, at least to me, from the Moon Knight TV show from Marvel Studios. And this is something people like to focus on for Wonder Woman. I don't think it's as important because, of course, when you're shooting the movie magic, Gal Gadot, she was a taller woman. She was, I think, like 5'11", 5'10". So May, she's 5'7". And to me, like I mentioned, height does not matter. But if you're going to have sort of a casting, it doesn't matter because movie magic, baby. You can just make her taller. You can give her shoes that make her taller, or maybe she just stays that height. That doesn't matter. But May, I think she is a wonderful actress. Oh yes, she was in Remy. I believe Remy was it. Oh, Rami, great show. I actually binged that show, season one. Mahershala Ali's also in that show, but she was such a standout. And I think she has the poise because if you watch Moon Knight, she was very much the straight woman compared to Oscar Isaacs and Mark Spector. Um, well, even though Mark was straight, who was it? But just the Moon Knight characters. So I think she is she my number one choice. I think she's up there, number one and two. She was really up there. I think another actress I think would be very compelling as Wonder Woman is Adriana Arjona. She most recently was in Andor. Andor is my favorite Star Wars project to ever be made. And she is just, if you want to talk about acting, May, wonderful actress, Adria, wonderful actress. But since she's so fresh in my mind because I watched Andor week to week, the 3 episode arcs, she was such a standout and she has so much range. And if you want to compare her to the most recent actress that played her, I think she's just a 10 times better actress. No disrespect to the other one, whatever. But, and she's Latina. That's a plus for me because I'm Latino, so I want to see, a representation actress for Wonder Woman. Of course, she's from the island of Mascara, full of women, so I think Adriana can definitely pull off the quote unquote fish out of water whenever Wonder Woman comes to, the rest of the world when she's exposed to other cultures and things like that. Adriana can, or excuse, I keep calling her Adriana. Adria can definitely portray that. So my third choice, if you're reading the Ultimate Comics right now, excuse me, not Ultimate, that's Marvel, the absolute DC Comics right now, you're no stranger to how well written and how fierce this portrayal of Wonder Woman is. I don't think that's the route that they're going to go for the DCU starting off, but I think this actress can definitely pull that off. Katie O'Brien, I've been seeing her in a ton of projects recently. Um, Most recently, of course, she was in Quantumania. Not a good movie, but she was in Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Great in that. What else was she in that I've seen? She's in The Mandalorian and Twisters. I have yet to see Twisters. I need to check that out. She's in an upcoming Sydney Sweeney movie. So if you want to go for a more intimidating, fierce Wonder Woman right off the bat, I think Katie O'Brien can 100%. No, without a doubt. Out of all the my choices that I have, the four actresses, she I think embodies Wonder Woman the most, especially physicality. I think she has the looks and the poise to be a Wonder Woman. Uh, and if you're gonna have a David Cornsweet who's already tall, he's like what 6'3", I think. You think he's like that tall, maybe a little taller. And if they go for a beefy Batman, which is what I think most people would like to see for the DCU, sort of like a Alan Richardson Batman, you want to have a fierce Wonder Woman, and Katie could definitely do that. And my last pick right now, those three actresses, Katie, May, and Adria, those three were like off the top of my head, those were my three favorites. And I was thinking, I'm like, who else can be like a wild card if you want to throw another hat in there for a potential Wonder Woman? Thinking, and I was going back to Power Rangers 2017, and I was like, yeah, Naomi Scott, I think could be a good choice. Um, she's the youngest of the four. I think May is the oldest at 38. Naomi's 32. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I'm just throwing that out there just so you want to have the age range be 32 and 38 is what the actresses that I chose from. You can easily go for an actress in her 20s, 40s. It doesn't matter. But Naomi Scott, I think of the four, she brings the most um, celebrityness, I guess. But that's not what you're going for because Wonder Woman herself sells the ticket. And Naomi, she does a lot of horror. She does the smile. I say a lot of horror. That's like the only one. But Power Rangers, Aladdin, Charlie's Angels, which wasn't that great, but it was fine. And like I said, she was just like a last minute. Who else can I see about throwing in there? And that's who I thought of. But that's all I have. Those are my four choices. So Naomi, Katie, Audria, and May. So, guys, what do you think about the film Wonder Woman finally being written in the beyond early stages of development? And drop some names down below. Who do you want to see play our princess, Princess Diana? Who do you want to see out of four choices? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for y'all today. As always, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm Chris. Catch y'all next time. Peace.